ouster has not ended the left's crusade against Confederate statues. As part of her constant efforts to be the most bland yet insufferable progressive on the block, ladies and gentlemen, Chelsea Clinton tweeted this, quote, "The story of Lucifer who rebelled against God is part of many Christians' traditions. I've never been in a church with a Lucifer statue." This may be the first question you've ever gotten about Chelsea Clinton, who, by the way, is her generation's deepest thinker.
Right.
What do you make of that?
Well, I don't think she's very sound on either the theology or the history, because there actually is quite a lot of satanic iconography throughout the history of the Christian church. And indeed, these days, whenever certain liberal groups discover that there's a nativity scene on public land, they petition for a satanic scene to be included with it. I think there was a famous one in Detroit a couple of years ago. But just to stick with Chelsea's analogy, if the Confederacy is satanic, the church, and I'm just running with this because Chelsea's thought popped into my head, then the Church of Satan is the Democratic Party. The Democrats were the biggest institutional supporters of slavery on the planet in the 19th century,
of course,
and they're the only ones to have survived into the 21st century. If you look at other racist parties, the National Party of South Africa changed its name 3 times and then completely expired. Same with Ian Smith's party in Rhodesia. They're all
about to say,
but the Democrats.
Zimbabwe.
And her father, her very own father, presided over one of the great, just 7 years ago, at the funeral of one of the great satanic archbishops, whom you mentioned the other night, Robert C. Byrd. You know, never mind guys who've been dead for 150 years, if you land in West Virginia, everything in the state is named after Robert C. Byrd. You ask directions, they say, well, you come out of Robert C. Byrd Airport, you hang a left on Robert C. Byrd Parkway, turn right after the Robert C. Byrd Art Center, then when you get to the Robert C. Byrd Science Museum, he was, and Bill Clinton said, well, you know, yes, he had a little bit of a flirtation with the Klan, but he did what he had to do to get elected. We've all been there. Let me just read you what Byrd said. I don't want to get this quote wrong. I'd rather, quote, see old glory trampled in the dirt, never to rise again, than to see this beloved land of ours become degraded by race mongrels, a throwback to the blackest specimen from the wilds. This is not a young man. This is a middle-aged man, far older than Chelsea Clinton. And I'm not...
He was writing to Senator Bilbo, I think.
That's right, and I'm a foreigner, so I can't tell a Grand Kleagle from a Grand Cyclops, from a Grand Kazoo, from a Grand Wazoo. I think, if you'll forgive a little bit of criticism of your great republic, I think this is what happens when you don't have titles and nobility, Tucker. People invent stupid titles like Grand Kleagle and Grand Wazoo, but he was one, and Bill Clinton delivered his eulogy. Why doesn't Chelsea take that up with the Satan in her own family household?
Because they're good people, Mark. Unlike you and me, they're just good people.
That's right.
Thank you for joining.
That's right.
Thank you for joining us tonight.
Have a Kleagle weekend.